got tea with me. So I mean, today I have Johnny, Tracy, and Sean with me. Okay, so we are going to be doing a recap of Love During Lockup, and this is episode 3. I think in the title I messed up and put episode 2. So just but I can change that later. All right, guys. So I guess we can go ahead and start off with well, I guess I'm gonna say something real quick. So this episode to me, it didn't give us a lot from each character. It really didn't. And then but I guess we can just talk about what we did see. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start off by giving like a synopsis, and then my buddies Johnny, Reese, and Sean, they'll give me their opinion. Maybe they saw the same thing I saw, maybe they saw something a little bit different, but that's okay, up for interpretation. All right, so we're gonna start off with Indy and Harry. All right, so we see that Indy is video chatting with Harry, right? Her daughter is there, and her daughter is calling Harry daddy. So Indy says that her daughter calls him daddy. Sometimes she calls him Papa Harry or whatever. And then she mentions that her daughter's dad is in and out of her life. So she'd rather have Harry, who is being constant right now, than, the pop in and out dad or whatever you want to kind of call it. All right. And she lets Harry know, Indy does, that she would like to reach out to his family, like his mom and his sister. But Harry tells her that's not a good idea. All right, guys. So, what did y'all think of Indy and Harry this week?
I thought they were. I don't know how I feel about the daughter calling him dad, but I mean, if he's serious about the relationship and they are really gonna get married instead of just spiritually married, then I mean, he's gonna be her stepdad. So I guess it's not bad to have a relationship, but I'm kind of like how the other dad was like he didn't want his son seeing the dad like that. So it's kind of not fair. But I don't know if her dad has a say in anything or if he's that much involved that he would even care. So I mean, I thought I saw was cute of their conversation. It's just I don't know how I feel about it. Like outside of that, but she gonna do what she gonna do. So,
Yeah.
and then him saying don't visit the family. It just makes me wonder: is it something that he's scared they'll tell, or is it really they just a crazy family? And he was like, he's not even involved with them. It's just hard to tell what that's about. Um, but I mean, I guess maybe she can do like the other girl and just go find out anyways, like she said. I mean, I'm sure the mom will find out if it's something crazy because she said she's gonna go up there. So, but I mean, they didn't give a lot in this episode like they did like the last one. So, I mean, I ain't really get much else from that other than, it was cute, but I kind of don't know that that's the route I would have went. And maybe don't have her calling him daddy right now because if they don't stay together, then she's attaching to him. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe she should have waited to let her meet him in person. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe because she feel like she's gonna up and move, so it's better for her to let her meet him. But I would still tell her call him like Mr. Harry or just say Harry and just say he's my friend or something until I know what the deal really is. But that's all I got. Maybe I saw something more.
Okay.
These new generation of kids are a trip. I think what caught me first was when she told him he looked better with his braids. Oh, she's 4. And already just out there like that. As far as the daddy, it kind of threw me when she called him daddy. I, I don't think he's around like that for her to have felt like she could call him daddy. So I do feel like that's more planted than
Exactly.
natural.
I do.
And I don't agree with stuff like that. I think you should always just let it be natural.
Mm-hmm.
I based on his conversations and how he's been, I just don't see him have being said, "Oh, you can call me daddy." I think it was more her mother than him pushing that narrative.
Yeah.
Um, Outside of that, I mean, he was engaged with her a lot, and I guess it is kind of hard to be on those video calls and you can't hide your face when people ask you those things. Because when she mentioned his family, his face just kind of was like why? Who said like almost like who said you could go see my family?
Yeah.
And what's up with these women meeting these men's families without their men? I would not feel right going to meet somebody's family and my man wasn't with me. I just don't get that. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't want a man going to meet my family and I wouldn't with him. So,
no, I completely understand what you're saying. Because for me, I wouldn't want somebody to go and like meet my family without me. However, if I if I was the woman and my dude is locked up, I think I would want him to encourage me to talk to his mom or whatever, or his sister, whoever he's close to. Um, but if he wasn't okay with that, I wouldn't want to do it without his blessing.
no,
I
not
wouldn't.
at all.
Um, I truly wouldn't. And then a lot of times, I mean, sometimes, especially if a guy's not being true to you, his family knows it. You don't know it yet, but his family
Mhm.
knows. And maybe he's trying to keep you away from there for a reason. I'm not saying that that's necessarily his thing, but could be, you know. Yeah. Okay, so Sean and Mr. Quiet.
Yeah, I think they should have had this episode called "Don't Meet My Family" without me being there. Slash, I'm gonna meet your family. I don't care if you give me permission or not. You know, because all of them. So I don't understand that either. Because why would you want to meet someone people if they don't want you to meet their people without them being there? Now,
Mhm.
then on the other end, there's a reason why that they don't want you to meet their people, and you should be a little weary about that. Like, well, why you don't want to meet your people? However, I wouldn't just go up there and meet your people without your permission. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if it happens, it happens. Now, I totally disagree with the fact that she was letting her baby call that man daddy. And like Johnny was saying, I do believe that's her telling her child, yeah, call him daddy, call him daddy.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's cool. Now, if he was in her life, like out of prison,
In
and was
person. Yeah.
in his life, in her life, and it just happens that way, then the biological father, if he's a pop in daddy like she said he is, then I don't see what he should have anything to complain about. Because if you don't want another man calling your child daddy, then you need to be there and be that daddy for that child. But seeing how he is in prison, uh, and they just spiritually married, and I know that she don't wear her ring all the time, so I don't know how spiritual married they are. uh, so unless you don't need a ring to be considered spiritually married, I'm saying maybe. But so I wouldn't, I just don't agree with that at all. Wait till the man is in her life, and it's once you know for sure that he is, because you haven't even moved to Ohio. Because you go up there to Ohio and things don't work out. Now the girl you hurt, she's gonna be hurt. Then the baby's gonna be hurt. Then you're gonna be upset that he hurt your baby, and you got all that stuff going on. Now, the other thing too, I was thinking when she said that I'm gonna go meet them anyways. I was like, I wonder if she talked to her psychic. So because she go talk to her advisor. Then if the advisor says no, will she still go? That's what I was wondering too. Did they give her a good advice? Because she got to run everything through her. So I just don't go. I just can't go along with all that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Because like I said, there wasn't that much information going on between them.
Yeah.
So
My other question about them is, does that little girl understand that he's in prison? So that's something else that I don't necessarily agree with. That maybe she should have let them. I don't know. I don't have a thing about like bringing the kids to prison if that's not that person's child or something like that. But to introduce my child, or the first time she talks to him, she may not understand what prison means, but you're still introducing your child to this man while he is. I don't know that I
well,
agree with
with
that.
with her mindset, I can see her telling her baby, yeah, he's in prison and you can't see him, and that's the reason why we going up there. and probably explained to her the whole deal about him being in prison. Uh, that's what I think. I think she probably did explain to the child. And kids now, exposed to so much stuff. The baby probably have a clear understanding, like, yeah, okay, he's in prison. My dad's in prison, type thing. If she communicate with her friends, other friends.
Yeah. So that was just something else that kind of bothered me about that scene, that portion of it, the fact that he is locked up and you have her interacting with him, which I was trying to find something good out of that situation or doing it that way, but I just couldn't really think of one. But yeah,
Yeah, because another thing I didn't too like about that is she's setting the groundwork for her daughter to let her know it's okay to be dating someone that's in prison. So and not well, because I know everybody that's in jail is not a criminal. You got some innocent people in there,
yeah,
but yet still, you wants to. I wouldn't want my child to date a prisoner, and that's not something that I would want to give my child. The idea that at that young age, it's okay to date a prisoner, because again, like I said, all people in prison are bad, but majority of them are. And you could be a good person that went to jail, and then once you got in jail, you had to do some bad things in order to survive. So who knows, So, but yeah. That's the thing I had a problem with.
okay. So
Because she should have just kept the baby on the side, while she was
yeah,
talking.
like why
Yeah,
does the baby need to be interacting while you're on the phone?
right. And then how
And
once she had asked about the meet your parents, she should have
then,
told her baby, well, go play, and then them two should have had an adult conversation while the
well,
child
that
went
yeah,
somewhere
and that
else.
but that goes to show like when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to sit up in grown people's conversations. But that goes to show that she allows her. I didn't allow myself either, um, but that just shows she allows that type of thing.
Hmm.
Like kids shouldn't be sitting up in grown people's adults conversations.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry. You can go ahead on. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's what I had. Alrighty, so the next couple we saw was Ty and Hottie. Okay, so Ty is out with her friends. They look like they're having like a little girls' night. Look like they're having fun. And Boston calls her while she's out hanging out, and she answers the phone. I feel like at this point you know who it is on the other line. Why are you even answering, entertaining any of her conversation at all? Unless you really want to talk to this lady. And so Boston tells her, that she wants to talk and meet up. And Ty is being all, I'm like, stop it. Because if you were big and bad, you would have left these. You go meet her or stop answering the phone call. If you were really big and bad, you go and meet her. So you just want to argue with somebody and act tough on the phone? Like, that's not whatever. And so her friends decided to, they tell her that they want to fix her up on a date with a guy that's free. So at first, she was a little resistant. They showed her a picture of the guy. So she's like, okay, I'll go out on a date with him. Okay. So then we see her meet up with the guy. I did not catch what the guy's name was. Oh, Angel. His name was Angel. Okay. So she sits down at the table where they're meeting at. And she's like, oh, do you mind if I check my phone? Just because of my kids. Which everybody knows that's kind of I'm not gonna say to check your phone because of your kids, but everybody knows it's kind of a no-no to pull out your phone during a date. Like that's a problem. But so he was like, okay, he's trying to be understanding because she does have kids. So she pulls out three phones, not just one, but three, and she checks all three. And so of course that's gonna catch his attention, and he kind of says something about her having multiple phones, and she's like, oh, it's business phones and phones for the kids, not personal phones. Which, even if you do have a business phone, why are you pulling out your business phone on the date? And then two, um, you have three phones, but you just mentioned two excuses. So I don't know. All right, and so one of her phones begins to ring. So she answers it, and it's Boston, the lady who's claiming to be Hottie's girl. And of course, she's trying to argue with her. And Ty gets up from the table. She excuses herself, gets up from the table, and proceeds to argue with this girl while she's on a date with this guy. Like, girl. And so she actually ends up coming back to the table, and they finish their meal, and then he walks her out to the car. Well, once they get out to the car, um, he actually kisses her, which shocked me because I was trying to read everything that was going on in this date, but Ty, she was acting. He called it eclectic, and I was like, I guess you could say that, but I didn't get that they were really vibing to the point where he was going to kiss her at the end of the date. But he does after he walks her to her car. All right, so what did y'all think of Ty and Hottie?
I'm just ready for them to meet and get it over with because it don't make sense. And then he wasn't a bad looking guy.
Oh,
For her to try and get out there and start dating people who are free. But she kept throwing me off with all of that because then she was like, well, I really like him. And then at the end of the date, she was like, well, I wouldn't have a second date. I'm just going to stick with the men in prison. And the men in prison are more romantic. This dude cut your steak. I'm not a fan of people cutting my steak, but I don't know what more romantic did you want him to be on the first date? I mean, and
yeah,
how romantic can a prisoner be?
right. They
What
can
what what
fill your
romance
head
do they
up with
throw your way?
romance. Yeah, they can romanticize you on a letter, but how romantic are they really being in
So
person?
your romance, you like fantasy romance as opposed to a guy actually doing it in person. Now, I have my one little story about a little guy who was during his transition getting out of prison. And he did do little cool, sweet things like he made me foil roses. He did pass letters, stuff like that. And I thought that was sweet, but I wasn't sitting there like, oh, this romance is wonderful. Like foil roses versus real roses.
So what did you water your fall roses with? Oil?
No, no, no. He would just make them out the kitchen with the foil. Okay, so
Yeah, so I'm saying you couldn't put water on it, so would you put oil on it to keep them alive?
no, no. I had to, end up throwing it away. It wilted, got all kind of crumbly.
Leaves started falling off. Yeah.
Yeah, foil is horrible. But no, it's the thought. The thought was what was cool. But um I just was totally thrown by her romance comment and how romantic guys are in prison because they can't do anything. It's not like they can send you roses and I don't know. Her whole mentality is just weird. And the more I kept looking at her, I'm like, she's so pretty. And I just don't understand why she's mentally jacked up. Gotta meet her baby daddies. They must have really done something to her for her to have this weird mentality about the real world and living in her fantasy world. She's comfortable in her fantasy world.
Yes, I think that's the issue. She likes the fantasy world that she's created, and
Yeah, for herself. And she needs
mhm.
to definitely that whole thing with that lady, I wouldn't even be answering her phone calls anymore. I would just be blocking her and I wouldn't deal with Hottie anymore. I'd just be done. You're causing me too much extra, especially the way she calls her. Like that's
Yes,
like
and then it's like,
borderline.
yeah, you're on a date and you're answering this woman's phone calls when
Yeah.
you already know what the phone call is going to be about. So either deal with this situation or cut the situation off.
And I like that he wasn't stupid. He said she was feeding me a bunch of, how did he put it? I forgot how he put it, but he knew she was lying about the phone call.
The
Hmm.
only
Um,
flood, the only
huh?
flood that was, he said about the flood because she said they had problems in. So he said the only problem was the flood that was coming from out of her mouth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he knew that she was lying. So I guess she let another good one get through her hands, and
Yeah.
but he seemed like he was. I think he wasn't so much interested in maybe having anything serious. Obviously, though, but you can't tell on a first date. I don't know how many first dates I've gone on and realized it was going to be serious or not. But you do know if you want a second or not. And obviously, well, she said it wasn't going to happen because she'd rather have her prisoners.
All right, so Reese, any thoughts on Ty and Hottie?
I thought she actually said she would go on a second date with him. She
Nah,
just,
she said she wouldn't.
oh, okay, I misunderstood that.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I know
think
she
what
said
she was
she
saying was like in a regular world, she probably would, but she prefers her prisoners, so she won't be.
I'm sorry, that dude was cute. He had them pretty eyes. He like you said was cutting up her steak. He was being really sweet, and you know, like he went in for the kiss, and she was like she liked that and all that stuff. But um, I think if anything, if they do meet up, it's gonna be a sexual thing. I don't think it'd ever be anything
But
more.
you know what? Even with that, because you remember when he was cutting up her steak and she was like, "Oh, I like that. You
Yeah,
keep on.
she
I'm
said
gonna
you
let you
can
cut
cut.
some."
I get
So,
something else
but
you
it
can
was
cut.
like he
Yeah.
didn't really play up on because
Well,
usually a guy play up on that. But
he wanted her to, because she was like, "What you think I mean?" And he was like, "I'm not gonna insinuate nothing." So I think he did the right thing. Because then if he was like, "Oh, you want me to hit?" No, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Maybe that's not the type of person he is. So he was like, "No, you either just say it or don't say it. I'm not gonna sit here and play that." Which I could respect that.
yeah, I can respect that
Like
too.
I'm not gonna just assume what you're saying. Like say it or whatever. But I do think that she should go on another date with him. I mean, he seemed cool,
Yeah,
and however, so rewinding it all the way back, like when she pulled out all three phones, that really was disturbing. If I was
right.
him, I probably would have been like, you know what, you might be too busy. This might not work. But I think he saw like her body, or you know that she's pretty, and was like, you know what, whatever. I'll see what happens. But I really do think that that was the weirdest thing ever. Like, I think if a dude put out three phones on a date with me, I would assume that's other women, and I just wouldn't even trust it. And then when she come back in with the whole the funeral home flooded. So if the funeral home flooded, then you should have to leave. But it's
Right.
like, oh, but no, don't worry about it. We're gonna finish our date. It just flooded. That's all. Like that's serious. If your job flooded and they're calling you, obviously they want you to come in or they're trying to say something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
obviously, yeah, you are instrumental part
Yeah.
or
But I also
instrumental.
felt like when she walked when she first answered the phone, she walked kind of away and then went past him again. So that meant she didn't leave out. So he could hear her probably saying, "Why are you playing on my phone? Why do you keep calling me?" And then she was like, "Hold on." And then she went outside. So I'm like, so if you said all that in front of him, shoot, I would have just answered that phone like, "Stop playing on my phone. Like this is my personal phone, and somebody is playing on my phone. They've been harassing me," and left it at that. And probably turned my ringer off at that point because I'm like, he could, it was obvious that that wasn't her job. But then you come back and be like, oh yeah, the funeral home flooded, so they were calling me, and it's like, okay, but don't worry about it, we'll keep going with our date. It just was weird. And I'm like, had she not had her boobs all the way out, and you know, like he said, when she walked in, everybody was looking at her. I don't think she would have lasted that long on his date. But I think he only, because of the attraction, the physical attraction, is the only reason he just dealt with it and kept going and playing along. And maybe he is, without pushing, hoping for some, hoping to cut something else. That's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah, he saw the puppies out. And he's like, yeah, okay. Because hold on, I'm sorry. I got okay, I'm back with y'all. I had to check on my kids. I had to check on my
Excuse
grandbaby.
me.
I'm sorry, I had to check on my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? I got all these phones. I gotta do what I gotta do. Yeah. Um, Once she put out all those phones, yeah, I'd have been thinking, yeah, something's up. Because if you got that many, either A, I'd be thinking that she's checking on other men, or she got that many kids to what she need three phones.
Right.
What is it? Three kids per phone, two kids per phone. What's going on with that right there? So that wasn't a cool move. And if she wanted to check on the phones that bad, she should have just went to the bathroom. Say, excuse me, let me go to the bathroom right quick. And
Yeah,
then avoid that.
because my thought process is even if one of the inmates called you while you were on the date, were you going to actually accept the call?
Right. Right. And knowing her, she would have, because on her way there, she's talking about took a picture and this be good for BB.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, you're going on a date, but you're thinking about another man. That's not a good sign for a boy. And then go back a bit further when she was talking to her friends and she had answered the phone there and let her friends listen in on the conversation. I was like, okay, why you didn't block the phone? So obviously you know what the woman number is because you keep on
Right.
answering it, you know it's her. If not, block the phone, put a different notification on the phone so you know for sure when it's her and not your inmates. Because every time it rings, it's the same ringtone. So I was like, well, hey, do something different if you really don't want to talk to this woman, or call her out. Say meet me on 6th and 5th Street, and we can settle this here. Because one scene when she had got out of the restaurant with Angel, and they had a blur. Is one lady was behind them in a blue shirt, and they had blur her face. Angel looked back. She didn't look back. She kept on walking. So I was like, "Ooh, if that was a girl could have just punched her right there in the back, and then that'd have
Mm.
been the end of that, But it wasn't. So, oh boy, I think he only stayed because he was thinking about her physical, how he was physically attracted to her. And then maybe he probably thinking that maybe something else can pop out of that ordeal. But uh, I just don't feel her anymore because you got someone there and she was doing a whole lot of touching every time she had an opportunity to
She
touch you.
was.
So that tells me, even though you told your friends that you done turned off your emotion to physical touch, or either she turned it off or been so long that she really don't know what she's missing. But obviously, she is missing it because as soon as you get an opportunity to be with someone physically, you touching them every time you get. That you're not going to get from a prisoner unless you get those visits, and you're not going to be visiting each and every last one of those prisoners. Then also, she talked about how the romance is, to me, is just about control. She wants to
Yeah.
be in control of the whole situation. With the prisoner, whenever it's time, she just cut it off and go to the next person, call the next person, and just keep on moving from person to person. Don't have to worry about getting any emotional ties to an individual. And her problem is the baby daddies probably add to it, but she said it's her relationship that she had with her father, and then the stuff that she had with her mom too, and all that there plays a part in the way she is now. Because I think she is scared of, excuse me, she's scared of a commitment, and
Exactly.
she wants to, when if she feels like she's about to be committed to someone, something comes in, she can always just cut it off because she has total control of it. Even the thing with Hottie, it's, to me, I don't think it's about the love she had for him because he's number one. It's all about old girl coming in and taking over or trying to reclaim her territory, and she don't wants to give up her territory to another person because that's her, well, not territory, that's her man. And
Yeah.
so she wants to be the one to control when it's over, and she can't cut it off with Heidi because if she do, then Boston wins.
Austin has won. Yeah.
Right. So she has to get to the bottom line. Once she get back in control of the whole situation, she know for sure Heidi is all hers. I do believe she will cut Heidi loose and go back to BB or to CC or to Cell Block 4, whoever, So that's her thing. So she's just, like you said last week, she got some serious issues that she really needs to work out, because she got 3 girls that she has to help raise, or probably do majority of the raising up. So she need to get some help so she can be there for her children, so that her children won't feel the same way she felt about her dad, that
Right.
the way she felt about her mom. So yeah, 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 because that's all he saw was this here. He's like, "Ooh, wow, yeah." So
Yeah, exactly. All right, Reese, did you already speak on Ty and Hottie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Max and Tara was another couple we saw this week. So we see that Max has been staying at a friend's house. Right. He says that his roommate slash business partner is acting jealous, and it's bothering him the way that she's behaving. So he's been over at his friend's house. So they begin to talk about Tara, and he kind of lets he kind of expresses some things about Tara, and his friend is like, "Well, why are you putting up, with this?" And as far as her not joining the video call, and so they get online and they try to look Tara up. I didn't realize that Tara was in Georgia. I'm not sure where Max is though, but online, like I guess all the information he used to be able to see publicly online was online, and now it's not there. So they decide to call. There's a hotline where you can call about inmates, and so they call, and Max finds out that Tara has already been released, and he did ask when was she released, and the person said this month. So now we know that Tara is out there somewhere. She hasn't communicated with Max at all. So yeah, what did you guys think of Tara and Max this week?
I
Yeah,
thought
and
that
Brenda.
was so funny. It was because I was trying to figure out how long he known her. Because if she'd been out for a whole month, then I guess that's the reason why she probably didn't make that phone call, video call, because
Mhm.
she was getting out of prison and she ain't got time for all
Yeah,
that
she may
foolishness.
have been out actually. Maybe she got released after she had, agreed to do the call. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yep, and then he was all in his feelings, you know. How dare her get out of prison and don't call me? Who does she think she is? I was like, man, you tripping, dude. And then you got a woman, a real woman in the same bed with you,
That
you know,
yeah,
in the
that
same
he
house.
with
Yeah,
on OnlyFans. So
right.
it's like, well, you have sex with this woman, but you're unemotionally attached to her. Why is it that Tara couldn't disappear on you? Now,
Uh-huh.
do I think that was the nicest thing for her to do? But no. But you're also acting very unemotional to somebody that, you
Hmm. Hmm. That's something. I can do it to you, but you better not do it to me because there's something wrong with you. Like these people crazy. These people just crazy nowadays.
They
You know.
are.
And then he's in there, and they blur out the red bag. Uh, and I was like, everybody know those
The
Doritos. Why they did
Doritos. They gonna say.
that? Everybody know what Doritos look
That's why I
out.
was like, let me blur my own stuff out.
Uh, and then he's supposed to be a trainer, and he's sitting up there picking out on some Doritos, and they got some ice cream on the side.
I thought the same thing.
yeah.
I was like, dude, you all in your feelings, man. You know what I'm saying? Go pick up a dumbbell or something. Go
It looked
run
like he
around.
wanted to punch a dumbbell when he figured out she was free.
Uh, free and don't want him.
Don't
Just
want
like
him.
these people. Mm-mm-mm.
How dare
So
she?
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
he
like,
was like,
look at me, and she don't want this.
uh,
I think it's funny. Like you said, it was hilarious. And the other comment he made that I laughed at was when the guy told him, "Well, it's just time for you to move on. I invested 7 months in her."
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's how long.
I was like, dang, 7 months. And notice how he only said time. He did not send her money. So I just thought that was funny. I was like, well, I guess your time was enough while she
Yeah,
was
but
in.
time
Now
is
she's
money
out
now.
and free.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
he could have been doing OnlyFans videos with all that time.
Yeah. And what if
So,
she did find all that? Like, let's just say she was feeling him. And then she did find out he was living with someone and had an OnlyFans and was having sex with this girl online. Like, why would she contact you? She's 37, so she's not a kid. She's might be on her grown woman crap or whatever, like I don't mean crap, but grown. I was trying not to say the S word, but it's just like she probably ain't got time for that. So you're dealing with a different breed of woman when you're dealing with somebody who's close to 40. At least that's what you hope, you know. You don't want a 40-year-old woman who acts like she's 20.
hmm.
And I do think if I found that stuff out and I'm thinking I'm investing my time and now I'm like, dang, you never even said you were living with a female. You definitely didn't say you were sleeping with her. I wouldn't contact you either.
And they're doing all of this on OnlyFans to make money.
Yeah.
So, granted, I get it, that supposedly that's just his business partner or whatever. But I think if I was in a guy and I knew he was having sex on camera with somebody else, well, let's just take camera out of it. The fact that he's still having somebody else would bother me.
Yeah, but he's not even living what he says.
Yeah.
You're not a single guy. You live with a woman, and not only do you live with her, you sleep in the same bed with her. Y'all brush y'all's teeth in the same bathroom. Like, what you're presenting is not what you are. So if she was really all that you said she was, that she ain't nobody, she's this, she's that, then you would have told the other lady about her and said, hey, I just want you to know I'm living with this chick. You don't have to go into detail about all that, but he doesn't even admit that he lives with her.
I'm pretty sure one of her other inmates probably saw that OnlyFans account and was like, whoa, wait a minute, is this your man?
Yeah, and I want to know who's paying for their internet.
All the inmates' internet.
Yeah, is that internet the way phone calls are?
You know what? I don't know. That's
Do they have to pay for that too?
Taxpayer dollars.
Seriously.
I don't know. Maybe they have internet essentials in there, so we're paying a low cost option.
Girl, I'm sitting here like, when the more I start thinking about this, like those video, like wherever the guy who was talking with the little girl,
Harry,
wherever he is, that's a very good camera quality phone, and that was a pay phone. So who paid for that?
The city.
The citizen. What the heck is going on in these prisons?
Your taxpayer money paid for that.
Exactly. Crazy.
We can't get 5G because of the airplane.
Yeah, craziness.
Hey, so Reese, what are your thoughts?
Same. I thought it was hilarious. First of all, the same thing that Sean said. I was like, I usually eat a whole giant bag of Doritos. Like, that ain't even just the little ones. Like, he was tearing them things up. I was like, I guess I'm not mad at him because he got room to do it. But I'm like, most people who are fit like him, like, are usually healthier. But
Yeah,
I assume, But
yeah,
maybe he caught him on his cheap day.
Yeah.
And then
normally they take it out in the gym. They don't sit there on the couch doing that. They'll be in the gym with their crying and stuff.
But and then the crazy part, I didn't hear 7 months. I thought he said less time, but I don't always get that right. But however long it was, he was with her 7 months, whatever. He never saw her on a video. Like, that was their first video date, which was the last time he talked to her. So that meant he went all that time without ever video chatting. And then so all you did was talk on the phone sometimes. I don't know how often they were talking. And then she seemed like she just had a pill problem. I don't know exactly why she was arrested or whatever. I haven't heard like her rap sheet or nothing, but what she said to him was that, she had an accident, got hurt, had a pill addiction. So she probably had something to do with like either selling or doing drugs or stealing or something, something related to getting some pills or whatever the case may be.
Well, to kind of give you guys a spoiler, I saw it. I think again it was on According to Amber. I don't know why I be forgetting.
She had an interview with her.
She did interview her, and she was saying that she gave somebody a ride home. I want to say it was somebody she was working with, and she got pulled over, and the police wanted to search her car, and they did, and they found drugs or drug paraphernalia. She said on the passenger side, but I don't get if it was. I don't think it was actually on the passenger though. And then that's what she got.
Oh, okay. So it's like she admits to him she had a drug addiction, which I'm sure being in jail, she's probably got off of it, hopefully. But the fact that he was all like, oh, she got out and she didn't even see me. Like, I feel like he really feel like he looks that good. And for somebody to not see him, that's just ridiculous. Like, how you going to get out of jail and you ain't come see this?
Like, yeah, he just gave off
you might be cute and I might be in love with you, but I'm fine, and you didn't even come see this in person. Like, that's what I get from him, and I'm like, he's just too much. He is way too much. Like, if she's as pretty as her pictures like showed, which I think she did look like that on the on the interview. I just remember everything that happened on the interview. Um, she's a pretty woman, but like you said, she's 37, so she's not a kid. And for him to be like she got out of jail and she's out in Georgia partying, like literally, I doubt that's her first thoughts when she got out of jail. That's why I'm like, dude, just because you're 24 and that's how you think doesn't mean a 37-year-old woman thinks like that. She
Right.
trying to get her life back together, I'm sure. And I'm sure if she got out and she probably had access to find out all that stuff, like the OnlyFans and all that, it probably was a turnoff. So why would I pursue somebody who you ain't got your stuff together? You got drama at your house. You living with this chick,
Yeah.
and she's not an ugly chick, so I wouldn't be comfortable with that either. So I don't know. He just need to get his life together.
All right, well then that was Harry and Tara. So we also have
Harry,
Anissa.
was it Max and Terry?
Max. Yeah, Max. Sorry, Tara and Max.
Wait.
So next we had Anissa and Taisley. I'm sorry, Saniba.
She knew her reminiscence.
Santiva. That's how.
She's so old. It still says 39. She's not 39. I don't even believe she's 41. That chick is old. Like her face is so old. And it. I'm sorry. I don't want to. But you know how she was taking the pictures and then they showed the one picture. I'm like, they photoshopped the mess out that thing. Like that was ridiculous. But anyways, go ahead.
Look, her video. I know we're not even summarized her relationship yet, but that video of watching her in the pictures, they don't match. Like, does she have like a side double or something? Like,
Yeah,
because she even has like this meat right here on her chin. You know, this weird pockets of, I don't know what that is, but she has it on her chin, on her face, but then in her pictures she doesn't. So does she have surgery? Like,
Airbrush,
I'm totally
I believe.
confused because she don't look anything like that on all those pictures.
Mm-hmm. But you saw when she was taking the pictures and they froze one shot, it was like she was like leaning and looking away or something. Yeah. She actually looked cute. That's not what her makeup looked better. Everything looked better in the picture. So I'm like, they're gonna airbrush those pictures. Those pictures are gonna be so pretty.
Yes, I want that photographer. Yes. I'm ready for him to come and take some photos.
Like you ain't gotta do your makeup good, but your makeup is gonna be good on the pictures. I'm like, that didn't even make sense. Her makeup looks terrible.
That's all that imaging stuff that they pay for that you can have done.
You can soften pictures all you want. They put a whole filter on her face. I was like, that's ridiculous. That was like an Instagram, Snapchat type filter. Like, cause when I was like, she didn't even have blush on her cheeks, and her picture looked all like. I was like, what was that? I'm like, y'all are lying. That man didn't even get the truth when she sends those pictures. I'm like,
I even felt like her hair looked better on the pictures. It was just like,
to me, that makeup was a whole different. It didn't even look like her makeup. Her makeup, all she had was just her eyes, and that was it. I was like, dude, you need what? You paying money for pictures and you look like that? Anyways, okay. I didn't say it too much. You ain't even go ahead and do your summary because I just got mad.
So Santiva, this episode, she was giving me very much Anissa vibes from last season. Well, from last season of Life After Lockup. Okay. She was giving me very much those vibes. So she decides she wants to take some sexy pictures for Taisley, which I don't know, maybe it's just my comfort level. I don't want to take sexy pictures for my man and send them to a prison where I know they open the mail and look at these pictures. I don't know. I just have a problem with strangers seeing that kind of stuff with me. All right, so while she's taking these photos, which just like watching the whole thing, like I said, it was just giving me very much Anissa, I don't want to say old lady kind of vibes, but the pictures actually looked nice. Like what you guys were saying, the pictures were nice. It was just kind of the vibe of everything. Then I was also getting a little bit that she wasn't as comfortable being sexy but I mean, it came out fine in the actual pictures, but it was just kind of awkward. So Taisley ends up calling her while she's doing the photo shoot, and she makes the biggest mistake to me. She puts that phone on speaker. Okay. So everybody can hear the conversation. The photographer, her friends, and the makeup artist. I don't know if the hair person was her friend or not, but they can all hear.
The makeup artist.
well, whoever, hair, makeup, or hair. I know I saw her curling her hair some, but whatever. I'm not for sure. I guess that was her friend that was there. I'm not sure. But yeah, so she's talking to him and he tells her he's got a date for release now. So, of course she gets happy, but and she starts saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and start packing my bag now." He's like, "No, but I don't want you to come until after I get out the halfway house." And so instantly you can see like the excitement just drops in her, and then she's trying to say, well, why can't I just come, because I can take you to the halfway house and all that. He's like, no, I think it's better, after that, and we know what's what. Um, you know, and like I said, you could just see the sadness on her, and then you could kind of see everybody else in the room is feeling sorry for her because they're all hearing this and they all, clearly seeing here she is at this photo shoot to take these sexy pictures for this man who tells her when he gets out, he don't want to see her until after he's out of the halfway house. So that would be his second release, right? And then that we move away from the photo shoot and we see her at home. She's in a jacuzzi and she explains to us that she'll send an email saying something sexy to him and a couple hours later he'll respond. So she said it's like she's having email sex all day. I'm like, you dragging this? Okay. What were y'all thoughts on Taisley and Santiva,
You know,
aka Anissa?
I was mad at them pictures. I was mad at that photo shoot, and then I'm like you. She even said that she can't show stuff because they're gonna look at the pictures. Is that go through all these people before it gets to him?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why she's not doing it digital. Like he could probably send her those pictures digitally, and then she could just text it, email it to him. I wouldn't even send them in the mail. Like that to me is dumb, anyways. And then I'm sorry. She said, what she say? Hold on, I wrote that down because I was like that. That was funny. Um. Oh, she was like, I'm so nervous about taking these pictures. She said, taking these sexy pictures because he might be giving them to his friends for noodles.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, if I remotely thought that's what you were doing, you wouldn't get a picture. I wouldn't even do a stick drawing and send to you if I felt like that was a possibility.
I was like, so you're not worried about all the 15 lives of people it goes through, but you're worried about it being swapped with friends for noodles. Oh God. But once well, you know what? Y'all said that they cut all that out because she got this like bulldog chin right here, But I guess, like you said, they photoshopped it and made it all. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was like, so he just gonna give it up for noodles? He gonna sell them pictures for noodles? That's just that's so disrespectful. But other than that though, like that's my favorite part. But I was like, after she had the phone call with him, because I'm like, I don't really get why she can't go to the halfway house or at least just see him. But it's a reason. So whatever. I don't know if he got somebody else picking him up or what. Maybe I don't know. But either way, she says she's gonna go. So whatever. I guess we'll see what happens. But with the pictures after she got the phone, she had been crying, and she just wiped it off and then just turned around and he's like, smile, and it's like, I'm like, first of all, that's not what you do in a sexy picture. Second of all, retouch your makeup, girl. You just cried.
Yes, it was almost like when your mom used to pop you and they'd be like, smile, stop all that crying, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm like, they're gonna have to really work on those pictures because unless his camera came with a filter, I don't know. He might have that little, that little makeup filter that just puts on you and then make your face all skinny and stuff. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. But I was like, them pictures at the end in the bathtub got to be a disaster because I'm like, she just went from crying to smiling. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna help her. She just needs to at least touch up under the eyes. Or I don't know, because she ain't young looking. So I ain't buying 39. I'm sorry, I'm not. I won't believe that. Like, this is the first time that I really am like, that's a lie.
Now, Reese, you don't think you're doing a stretch there? So you believed Anissa? Did you believe Brittany too? Uh, they could just tell you whatever they want to tell you, Reese. You believe in ages now.
I still don't know about Brittany. Like, she could be young because she still acts kind of young. Anissa, no, she ain't age right. She ain't age right.
And this is 50 something, right?
Yeah, so I believe she
I
could
think
be.
she was trying to say she was 51, I think. Or was she trying to
She
claim
could be,
40?
and just maybe she's age bad.
Well, we know they do.
But they need to take that 39 off her thing, though. They need to stop that. Stop. She was probably 39 in them and then them TikTok videos. She might have been 39, but those were years ago. Those were years ago.
Even like the hair color and stuff. I mean, she just, I swear she's late 40s, early 50s. There's just no freaking way. I can't see it. I can't see it. Oh, you
That's
done
all.
with me?
Yeah,
My only quick thing was, I always try and give the dudes the benefit of the doubt. Being in a halfway house, I don't think they really have freedom, because she kept thinking, well, I thought I could pick you up for a few hours and this, that, and the other. I think they have strict policy on where they go, how long they can be gone. And I think she's in Florida and he's in Georgia, right? So he probably just doesn't want her driving all the way out there and he can't see her that day, or having her spend money he's going to spend later, and he'd rather save it for later.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. You're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. But what we've seen with all the other inmates going to halfway houses, they were able to be picked up by somebody, and then that person drove them to the halfway house. So it seems like he'd want that little bit of time or whatever it is. Because do you remember, Anissa was ready to have sex in a bathroom or somewhere?
Oh, that's right. And
Um,
he ended up, he was there, but he had to go straight to the house, right? And
well,
then
he claimed that day he couldn't get out because he had to get his ankle monitor thing. So I guess that wasn't the day that she was going to drive him there. Because I think the day she was going to drive him there, he didn't get off the bus or something. Something crazy happened.
something happened, and then and then she actually did go back, and they wouldn't let her in. He could only walk to the gate to grab her food or whatever, and he went back in the house.
I thought she
I think
left it
that
on
was
the
his
table.
excuse.
He
Yeah,
walked
she
Yeah,
away,
did.
he
and
would.
then he
Yeah.
came in.
So we don't. I mean, like, she doesn't know the ins and outs of what he can do, and maybe he's just like, maybe that's torture for him. Maybe he's like, I can't be with you for just 10 minutes. I want to be with you forever. So maybe he's just kind of like, yeah, I'd rather have more time with you than less. Like, I've been in jail. The idea of seeing you for like 5 minutes and not being able to do anything is killing me. So I just rather not put myself through that. Just give him the benefit of the doubt. There might be a reason why. And he said he's only in the halfway house, I think he said 3 weeks. So if you're in there for 3 weeks, what's 3 weeks? I mean, you haven't seen him in months. You haven't slept with anybody in years. So what's 3 weeks? So that's
All right.
all I have on that one.
What do you have for us?
I'm sorry. I was checking on my kids.
Oh, he's going to ride that one out.
Hey, I
On
got a lot
phone
of
number
kids.
10.
I got a lot of kids. I got a lot of kids. I got a lot of kids. I ain't got a lot of phones. I got a lot of kids. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I felt bad for her, but I didn't think about it until Johnny made a good point. Maybe he don't want her to come and waste all that gas money, and you know, more money she can spend on him later. Uh, he's being smart about it. Now, with the pictures, when she was in there taking the pictures, and she was telling the photographer, no vagina shots, no nipple shots, and all those type of shots and stuff. And I was thinking to myself, oh, why would you want to do that anyways? Because you're gonna send it to the prisoner. and you already said how it's going to go through the CEO, the guards, and all them type of people. So everybody would see your stuff, you know. Then I was thinking about Brittany, you know. So I was like, so
Oh
what?
yeah,
Brittany
that
didn't have
ring
to
light.
worry about, yeah, the ring thing. So I was like, so she
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about all that stuff. So maybe she should have got in touch with Brittany and asked her how she was able to get to show all her stuff without everybody else seeing it. Or Brittany just didn't care.
She sent it direct.
She sent
Yeah.
it
They were
direct, like
videoing.
she sent it
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that was she. So that also goes to show her age, because she
Yeah.
wanted the photos
She gonna mail the picture.
and
Yeah.
mail it in.
Look, they're probably
No.
Polaroid pictures that she had to shake.
They
So,
can't edit them Polaroids, so them ain't Polaroids.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, lady. And then I felt bad for her because, like I said, when she started crying and the whole putting the phone on speaker. So I was wondering, is that in their contract? You know, that every
That you
time the
have
phone rings, that you got to put it on speaker. You know,
right. Because
because
I was
that,
wondering I was
yeah,
wondering that too.
because I was like, man, that's got to be embarrassing. You thinking that he's coming?
Right, that's rough. Woo.
I said you taking sexy pictures for your man, and he tell you, "Oh, I'll see you in 3 weeks." And you like, "Well, don't you take these pictures? I'm about to get me some." Oh, what? I can't come. Oh, that's not cool. And then you got all these other people, and how you going to play it off? You really can't play that off, you
Hmm.
know. You
Right.
know. And then, well, we might as well finish with the pictures. But to go from sad, I mean, sexy to sad to back to sexy, you know, that just wasn't feeling it. And
So
then
that,
so,
let me
uh,
ask you from a man's perspective, was that pretty sexy, pretty hot?
what the all
The
of the
photo
pictures?
shoot.
Uh,
The photo shoot. I'll leave the photos out. The photo shoot. How did the photo shoot look to you?
if it wasn't her, yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
She's not my
skinny
type. You know,
super.
I'm not into older women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can respect that. Yeah.
you
She's
know.
only 39.
Well, I'm not into women that don't know how old they are.
She only 39. He hating on her. She's
Yeah,
young.
you said
Well, they call
one
those
time you
like
said she was 39, then the next time you said she was 41. So
Hey, that's what it says online. It says she's 41, but We TV keeps saying she's 39. Because I went back and looked at it and I screenshotted that. I was like,
But
yeah,
you
I
know
knew I
what?
went crazy.
When people lie about their age a lot, sometimes they forget what number they've said. So
Yeah.
there you go. Hey, she don't know how old she is. They don't know how old she is. So yeah, I don't know what you call it. But the outfits, they seem okay. They seem nice. Yeah.
I think
And uh
he had potential.
yeah, yeah. So
well, those
if it
things are
wasn't
called like
her,
are those boudoir shoots?
Yeah.
yeah, because like I said, her, because I'm not attracted to you know all that stuff there. You know, because she got too many lines in her face. But after they touch it all up, like y'all say they did the touch ups and stuff, then hey, you know, no, you got to bring it in. There you go. There you go. Live it more. Right there. That's it right there. That's it right there.
y'all are a mess.
Live it right there.
That is
You
too
know
much.
what, Johnny and Sean, that was real messy what y'all were just
Yeah, that was
doing.
messy. That
That
was
was real
I,
messy. But you know what? I like
messy.
it. Let's explore this a little more.
You know, like pout face.
uh,
You gotta smile, like go from crying to
Oh,
barely wipe the tears off. Like I'm like, dude,
mhm.
your mascara look terrible too now. I'm like, oh gosh. Now she got the Britney Spears, like the messy eyeshadow underneath look. I'm
girl,
like,
you know
girl,
they notorious for all that crying and fake crying. I
Yeah,
didn't actually feel
weaponizing their
bad for her. I
tears.
was just kind of like, he can't see you. He can't see you.
yeah,
But I
bad.
think I probably wouldn't have felt as bad if he said that if she wasn't trying to do a sexy photo shoot for him.
Yeah,
It's kind of
bad
like, this is
timing.
all it is, Benny. This is what the phone call you got.
Yeah, I guess that's just the chance you take. But it's so funny because she didn't even realize he was getting out that soon. So it's like don't know. When are we getting to Gabby and what's his face?
They are next.
Okay.
All right, has everybody got out their Santiva and House Taylor? Their names, I don't know why I'm having such a difficulty with them. Okay, so then let's go on to Chris and Gabby. Woo! Okay, so Chris and Gabby. We see Gabby, she's shopping, right? She reveals she has a friend with her. She reveals to her friend that she hasn't gotten a letter from Chris in over a week. And that as far as she knows, he's still in lockdown, right? Okay, so she decides to call his mother. So when she calls his mother, she finds out that he's getting out in 3 weeks, right? But his mom says that he's going to parole to her house, to the mom's house. And so Gabby's like, no, 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 no. He's supposed to be paroling, with me. So they go back and forth, Gabby and the mom. And I didn't really care for their banter. And then when they get off the phone, she was like, can you believe that bitch? I'm like, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute, sis. Now, if you know anything about a black man, you don't start talking about his mama. And if he sees this later on, he's not gonna like the fact that you called his mama a bitch on air. Do y'all remember New York from what was it? What was that reality show she had? I Love New York, and she was talking trash about the guy who actually ended up winning her season's mom, and he saw that. So then at their reunion, he broke up with her at the reunion. So I'm like, girl, do not do that. That's not a route you want to go. Okay. And so Gabby also reveals to us that like she used to go and see him all the time. It's a 3 hour drive there to see him and a 3 hour drive back home from seeing him. But due to COVID, she hasn't been able to see him in like 9 months because of the visitation rules and restrictions and stuff. And so, like, of course, this is a whole nother day. So then Chris's mom calls her and they're talking on the phone, and his mother says that she's going to go and pick up Chris when he gets released, and that I'm sorry, that she has an email from him stating that he does not want Gabby to be there when he gets released. So then Gabby was like, well, I wonder if it's because he has some Fed time. Maybe he's afraid the feds are going to pick him up. So her and the mom, she calls the prison or something like that where she can get information about prisoners from with his mom on three-way. She couldn't get any information because they told her if he's going to be picked up for Fed time, they can't tell her that. And so they end up getting off the phone. I'm trying not to jump into my personal feelings so quickly, but Gabby was getting on my nerves on this episode. Um, I know we've seen her act like a little spoiled brat, but I just feel like it was just so over the top on this episode. I did understand that she would feel some type of way about not picking him up, but my thing is, why does his mom believe that he wants to parole to her house unless he told her that? So that's not really an argument you need to have with his mom. That's an argument or a conversation you need to have with Chris. What are y'all's thoughts about Gabby and Chris this week?
Well, I don't agree with that. I think the mom is messy. I don't think the mom, because the mom threw out there that we know he bought you a car, we know he did this, and. So I think the mom is kind of being a little messy here, to be honest, and that's why she doesn't trust it, because she knows the mom doesn't care for her. So I when she called, because even the mom said, you ain't got to call the prison, they ain't gonna tell you nothing, blah, 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 blah. And they did tell her more than what the mom knew about when he was being released and all these other kind of things. But I did find it funny that no, that's confidential. What the hell is confidential about a prisoner being picked up by the feds?
Well, no, and I do get that. That is true because in reality, that's how an escape could easily happen. So when they move like prisoners from different locations, even if they take a prisoner off campus to a doctor's appointment or something, they don't even tell that prisoner necessarily where they're going because an escape can happen during that time period. It's more likely to happen while they are being transported somewhere.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because I'm sitting there like, why is that confidential information? Either
Yeah.
he's being picked up by the feds or he's not. Why is that so hard to say yes or no? And then I guess I don't understand, why would you tell people he's being released if you know he's going to be picked up by the feds? Does that even make sense? Wouldn't it just be he's being transported? I guess I'm just kind of confused with that whole situation with that. Um Now he can't be too surprised of her reaction to his mother, because we've seen how she acts with her mother. So if she
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have
she's
much respect
yeah.
for her mom, and he's seen that, he shouldn't be surprised that she doesn't have respect for his mother. Um, and I don't know if he ever laid down ground rules with her either and said, "Hey, I know you don't care for your mom, but I care for mine, and you better not ever disrespect her in any kind of way. I better not ever hear about it or see it." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that he would really end things with her based on that. And then I thought it was funny because she was like, "I feel used." How you feel used? You're the one
Yeah.
who got the money.
Yeah.
What am I watching? What am I watching? Because I don't understand how you feel used. Is it from y'all's trysts underneath the table of sexual pleasure? But if you felt used and he gave you money and he paid for things, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are my things, but I was just kind of confused. I get that what you're saying, but I guess what I don't understand is, if you know he's going to be picked up from the feds, then why are you telling his family and his friends that he's being released?
I mean, I guess because technically he is being released, I guess, but they just can't tell you if there's going to be some federal agents coming to pick him up. Um, yeah.
So, and then that was my other thing too. He it I thought somebody on one of the previous shows had said something about, well, he can't get uh what is it? It's not private time, but you know what y'all call, what is it called?
Contra-
The where he's in the hole. He can't be put in the hole 30 days prior to release.
oh
So
no, actually, right before they release them, they take them out of population and they put them in the hole. To keep them, make sure nothing happens to them. They're safe and secure. And when they need to release them, they're picking the right person as well and releasing the right person. So yeah,
oh, okay. So it's very possible that he really is going to be released.
yeah.
Oh, and then the mom never sent her the email. So I think that's just her way of trying to control it and take it away from Gabby, because she knows she can't talk to him. But if he's emailing her, I was like, well, why wouldn't he email Gabby?
Yeah, that was my thing. I was wondering, it was like, okay, so clearly he has access to internet. So why is he emailing his mom but not writing a letter at least to Gabby? That was something that I was confused about too.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. And I think that's why Gabby's kind of like, I don't trust what she's saying. Like, this just isn't making sense. But then I didn't understand in the letter she did get from him why he didn't say he was about to be released. So there's a lot of questions here. And I think she's kind of in a situation where she doesn't know who to believe and what to say.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Very true. Um, I same thoughts. I'm like, I'm confused on whether or not he's gonna be upset, but I was like, but she is playing with fire by calling his mom out her name like that, because she could have just said, man, you see how she act, how she treat me, is not, it ain't cool. But again, like Johnny said, she doesn't respect her mom, and she calls her mom the same thing. So maybe
Oh
he
yeah.
look at it as she just got a foul mouth like that. But
mhm.
I'm like, that's how you talk about your mom, but don't talk about mine like that. Like, that's how I would feel. And then if we really serious, I'd be like, don't talk about your mom like that around me. But I don't know that I really would want to hear anybody just say something like that about their mom. Like, you can complain or vent, but don't do that. Like, that's just rude. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I've done that. Like, I've even done that with kids that come to my house.
mhm,
And I know they have disrespectful tones to their mothers. And I've
mhm,
even seen it in action. I said, don't do that around me. You can
yeah.
disrespect your mom anywhere else, but you ain't finna do it in front of me, and I'm not tolerating it. and they stopped. It's like crazy that I had that much control over your child, not you
Yeah.
who didn't stop the disrespect, but me who can't tolerate watching another child disrespect their mother.
Yeah. I don't
So
like
I
that.
think it's crazy.
And then I also am confused on that whole how she feels used. She can feel hurt, she can feel confused, she can feel like something ain't right, but used, I'm like, yeah, that's not the right term you should use because if
Right.
anything, you didn't got the most out of the whole deal. Like if he walks away now, you still got a car, you know what I'm saying? You got furniture, you got all the things that you needed for the time being, you know what I'm saying? The only thing is you don't have access to the money anymore. That's the only negative. And you hurt because you love him. But um it's like you weren't being used. Like you got the most out of the deal, period. And
Mm-hmm.
then the part, let me see, I had wrote something down that I was like, no, she didn't. She was tripping me out too when she was telling the mom. She was like, cause you know he was like, you only get one mom. The mom said that, and then she was like, and he only get one wife. And then she was like, and he ain't going nowhere. And then she was like, okay, we'll see. And then she's like, oh no, we'll see. Yeah, we'll, you know, like she was going back and forth with her on it. But I'm like, but the mom know her son, so if she know her son, maybe she could be wrong about this relationship, but she probably saying like, okay, you don't really know him. Like I know him, and he didn't went through women and did got to these points and still left. So don't think that you safe just because you feel like he proposed to you and gave you a ring. But I don't know. Like there's that story was just weird because I don't understand. Like you said, why he's not talking to her, why he's telling the mom to tell her stuff, and I'm like, that is weird. Like I don't get that. So it's something crazy going on, or I don't know. But if he is being picked up, like I understand what you're saying. Like they can't tell that information, so that part would make sense. It's
Mm-hmm.
just why is he not talking to Gabby? And then the other thing that I remember her saying that I was like, what's wrong with this chick? Was like when they were shopping, she told the friend he gets out in 3 weeks. Whatever you want, get it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what does that even mean?
Well,
Like,
that was crazy. So you're gonna blow through his money because you got mad?
yeah, that's why I'm like, so y'all gonna take a shopping spree because he gets out in 3 weeks? Like, are you scared he's gonna leave? So you saying let's get whatever we want now, or I don't get it because I thought she didn't even have access to the money right now, unless it's some of the money he gave her she still got. Because I'm like, that's stupid. And if that is the case, don't blow through it because you might not get no more, depending on what's going to go down. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But this situation is confusing. Like the more we talk about it, the more confused I feel. So yeah, I think that's it for me because I don't think I got anything else out of it that wasn't already said, I guess, too. So
Yeah.
maybe Sean got something else.
Yeah. I think he's over there watching videos where he does photo shoots.
He did enjoy it.
Yes, yes, because I got to take the good ones to work so I can get me some noodles for lunch.
Okay.
I'll be hungry. I'll be hungry at work. So. And I ain't trying to get no cheap noodles, so I got to make sure the photographer photoshopped it just right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't want no store brand. But
You want the oodles and noodles.
watch out now. Watch out now.
You want the great value, right?
I know,
Not the
right?
great value. And if I get some real good pictures, I might get some wieners with them too. Oscar Mayer, chop them up. But anyways, yeah, because I did trip out on those two comments. The one when she said she felt used. I was like, well, now not used. Maybe you can go with cheated. You know, you felt cheat because, like you said, the underneath the table stuff probably was more than $60,000 per protection. But hey, because when sure she said that, I was like, girl, you got $60,000. My goodness, you something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, when she did make the comment, "Oh, he get out in 3 weeks. Just get whatever you want to get." So, too, I agree with Reese about you might want to save that money because I think you're not going to get anything else, especially when the lawyer, told you no, and now we know the reason why he told you no is because the boy is getting out soon, and
Oh, I didn't think about that.
yeah, because I'm too was like thought about the email when she said I'll send you the email to her. And so I was like, well, why is she sending you an email? Why didn't he just send Gabby an email instead of writing her a letter? And in the letter, supposedly, once you're in the hole, you don't have access to anything, according to her.
Yeah.
So, but you get a letter and the mom gets an email. And in the letter, it talks about all the sex stuff that she said she couldn't read, but don't have nothing about no, I'm getting out in 3 weeks. Then we could do all this stuff. So
Mhm.
maybe it might have been in the letter, but she didn't want to read all the sex stuff. And then at the end of the sex stuff, he said, "Yeah, we'll do this here in 3 weeks when I get out." Who knows? But no, I don't think it was in there. So then from there, I agree with you all that if I was dating someone and I found out that they was disrespecting my mom like that on camera, that would be the end of the conversation. Well, yeah, I think it would be the end. I talked to her, but seeing how she does that with her mom, I don't think she would change. So that probably would be the end. Especially after having to hear it from my mom over and over again and telling you, "Oh, you with her after she talked to me like this here," and she just keep on going. And it's like, "Well, no, I can't handle this here, so you got to go, young lady." Then, because I found it was even more funny that she did wait till she got off the phone. Because if it was her mom, she just would have told her mom straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But she waited till she got off the phone was hung up, and then she started talking trash. So I was like, well, if you that big and bad, why didn't you just say it over the phone? So I'm thinking because she know once she'd have met the mom would have went off on her or beat her up probably. So she don't look like she can fight. Um, and there's something else about her. Cause I did kind of felt sorry for her for a little bit because of the situation, how the mom was treating her, not wanting to give her enough information. This is supposed to be your fiance, claim your husband, um, but she's not getting you any information, and you're not getting any information from him, so you don't know what's going on. She's left in the dark, and I did kind of feel like she really do love the man.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike last week when I felt like she just loved his money. So I had a little turn, on my feelings towards her, or my opinion towards her. She's in a bad situation, but she got $60,000. So she got a BMW, got a house paid for, or her rent, or whatever she did with that. She still probably has some extra cash left over if she spent it wisely. Um, so in the long run, like you all was saying, she coming out on top. Because he $60 in the hole depends on how much money he actually got, and then you got $60,000. You be happy with that and move on. Because I think that he's going to come out and he's going to move on. Because she's not going to win. Talking about I'm the mom. Well, I'm the mom, or you the wife. I'm the wife. I'll be the only one. I was like, well, nah, because he can always get a divorce. He can't divorce his mom. You know, no matter how bad his relationship with his mama turn out, she gonna
Mhm.
always be mama. She always had that title. Things can happen to where that relationship with her go sour, and you have instead of wife, you have ex-wife, or you might not even make it down the aisle. So
Right.
don't compare yourself. Waste your time comparing yourself to somebody's mom, especially if you have that good relationship with his mom. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and maybe the mom is upset that and thinking that they should have had more more say to his money, and maybe it could have been that they want the money, like Gabby think that they want the money for their own good, or it could have been that she wanted the money because she know how her son is, and he's wasting all that money on that car and that ring and all that type of stuff on this woman that he's not really wants to be with, so. But and then too, I think I don't know one of y'all had said it last week. Maybe that $60,000 was a test. He gave her the money to see how she was, and he see that she's gonna cost more to maintain. She high maintenance, yeah. So and then probably why he's like, okay, I'm done with her. Let me move on. So yeah, that's all I got.
Mhm. So the last couple is Haley and Dalton. All right. So we see Haley. She's in. Haley, she goes to visit Dalton's dad, right? Dalton asked her not to do that. She still chose to go against Dalton's words. And she sits down with Dalton's dad. They're sitting outside of his house. Um, and she asks him, when was the last time you saw Dalton? And he was like, well, I haven't seen him, basically since he went off to prison. Which, okay, so you sat down and you had some questions for his dad. But I felt like the question she was asking him, you should have just asked Dalton this. I didn't see anything that necessarily you needed to get an answer from his dad. But she's saying that, his dad was in and out of his life, and maybe if his dad had been in his life, he wouldn't have done the things that he did. And I don't know. For me, I didn't particularly care for that statement. I feel like if he was going to be bad, he's going to do it. You can't blame it or try to put the blame onto his dad. Okay, but Haley starts telling the dad. Well, let me jump back. Okay, so Dalton's dad, she asked Dalton's dad, what does he do for a living? And he was like, well, before COVID, I drove a choo-choo train. I was like, are you talking to a 2-year-old? Like, why are you drove a choo-choo train? I didn't understand.
That was hilarious. I had to write that down. So I was like, a choo-choo train. Drove a train.
Mind you, Dalton's a
Choo-choo's
genius now.
mate.
Dalton's a genius.
Choo-choo is a sound it makes. You drove a train.
Yeah, right. I don't drive a vroom to work every day. Like, no. Like,
you got a vroom
about? Yeah. So then he turns the question around on her and asks her, what does she do for a living? So she tells him, well, actually, she called it a tech. A
cleaning tech.
A cleaning tech. I'm like, oh, okay. Jazzing up your resume, huh? And then he just responds, he was like, that's a very admirable career, to have. Reese's over there losing it. Do y'all see her?
I feel like he threw a jab at her when he said that.
Yeah, I feel like.
But I can't get past the choo-choo train.
I know. That was too much. Yeah. All right. And so Haley goes on to tell the dad that, when Dalton gets out, he plans on, coming and being with her. She has, basically got a home for him and her son and all this. So then the dad says to Haley that he doesn't believe his son wants a prefabricated family. Which, again, we were just talking preschool talk. Now we're talking about prefabricated families. It's like, so your sentence structure, I don't know. Just kind of picked up on that. So he tells her he doesn't think that his son wants that. Okay. And he says it to us. He doesn't say it to Haley. He's like, his son has a type. He was like, he likes pretty girls. So did he specifically say that Haley is ugly? No, he didn't. But he did basically say, that's not my son's type. That's not what my son normally goes for. So that was kind of her visit with Dalton's dad, which for me, that's why you shouldn't have ran your butt over there. You should not have ran your butt over there. Granted, I know she did not hear everything that the dad said, but now if you watch the episode, you know what this man has said. He does not think that you are his son's type. He doesn't think his son wants an already made family. That's serious right there. Okay, so the next thing we see of Haley, she's in the car with her mom, and she's telling her mom she's taking her to a surprise. So the surprise ends up being that Haley has bought a trailer. And her mom tells her that she's proud of her, and she's like, yeah, this is a home for me, Hendrix, and Dalton. I'm like, oh Lord. And so the mom asks her, is Dalton going to be on the deed? And Haley is sitting there talking like she doesn't understand when the mom was saying that, potentially she could lose her home if she puts Dalton's name on the deed. And she kind of is like, well, what do you mean? My thing is, if you couldn't understand what your mom was saying to you, maybe you shouldn't be living with a man. Because, what your mom said was very clear and concise. I don't understand what was confused to you. And so her mom also tells her she's worried that maybe Dalton may feel like the trailer is not good enough for him because apparently he's from a prestigious part of town or whatever. And so she was saying that no, Dalton will be happy and he's going to come out. And I know he's not going to come out being able to pay bills immediately, but I'm sure he'll be able to do it, once he gets on his feet. All right, so what did y'all think about Haley and Dalton this week? And Dalton's dad.
Well, the dad is an ass. Let's just call it what it is. He's an ass, and he looks down at Haley.
Yeah.
And I didn't like I think when he asked her to clean his bedroom,
Oh yeah, I
I
didn't
would
like
have got
that.
up and left. That was already showing you right there he has no respect for you.
Right.
Like, he told you to clean his bedroom, not his house, not his kitchen, not his living room, but his bedroom. Like,
To me,
to me,
now
that
I
was,
could, yeah, now I could be wrong, but I kind of got almost like he was asking you that almost like he wants you to be his bed witch. Like you could be. Have you seen my bedroom, man?
yeah.
I was like, what? Wait a minute, where are we going with this? Because that's your son's girlfriend.
I think, like I said, I think he was, I'm trying to figure out where Highland is, because if Highland's where I think it is, then the mom is right. Uh, we in Dallas, there's this place called the Highlands, and it's very upscale, rich neighborhood. And I don't know that he would really care to move into uh trailer park or mobile home park or whatever you want to call them. It's a park. But I don't know that he would like that. But then again, he's been in jail for 7 years, so it's an upgrade from what he's been at.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe his tastes have changed. It does seem like his family has nothing to do with him while he's in jail. So they still haven't really said if it was anything done on their side, that he did anything, like, it still isn't really clear, because most parents, I just don't know of most parents who would just totally abandon their child in jail.
You know what? And you do make a good point, and something that was said that I kind of didn't understand because he said he hasn't had contact with Dalton since he's been in prison. But he also said to Haley that when Dalton gets out, they plan on being a family again. And I'm like, how can you, if you haven't, I was like, I don't know. I don't understand this conversation right
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like that.
now.
It just doesn't seem right. Even the fact that his mom hasn't even been to visit him in jail. Like, none of his family has gone to visit him. They have nothing to do with him. Now, where the dad lives, I don't know, because then I got confused when I saw where he was or where they were, because it didn't look like it didn't look fancy, so I can't tell. It doesn't seem like the dad and the mom are still together, maybe. I guess not. Is it the mom who's well off and the dad is just on the side? Like, I don't, I'm getting more and more confused about their family dynamic, because Dalton said his dad wasn't in his life. Like, he wasn't around, but he's making it seem like he was around before he went to jail. And then he's not around now. While he's in jail, he's got to basically fess up to his mistakes or learn from his mistakes.
Right.
But the mom is wise in trying to warn her daughter about how things can go down. He did seem proud of her for buying a home, but then it was funny to me because she kept saying, my home, my home. I bought a house. I bought a house. It's a mobile home. They are different. So maybe if you had told him it was a mobile home, then he would have been like, no, we need a house. So I don't, he said, we were just talking about it. I didn't know you were going to actually do it. Those kind of things. It's like you're making all these decisions and he doesn't sound that committed, or like he's in it for the long haul. Well, he did say we can make that house our home, and I'm just like, see, he's thinking it's a house. If it's where he grew up, if it's Highland Park, Highlands, Texas, that's, like I said, an affluent neighborhood. So if it's like he's thinking house, 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 not mobile park, mobile home. So I guess we'll see what happens. And then she did. She kept including Dalton in there because the mom said, "Well, this really is a good place for you." And is it Harrison?
Hendrix.
Hendrix. This is really a good place for you and Hendrix. And she was like, "And Dalton." The
Mm.
mom was just like, "Whatever." But we'll see what she does. And hopefully she'll stop spending some money and kind of chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, just relax and kind of get a clear eye on the situation and what's going on. Because if Dalton is anything like his dad, like you said, his dad is an asshole. Um, Dalton may behave in the same way, once he gets out. But yeah, um,
Yeah, he's straight ass, straight judgy. And when he made that comment that that's not his son's type, I was like, he's a dick.
yeah,
So
yeah. And then when he first said, I was like, okay. I was thinking maybe he was just looking down upon her because she cleans houses. But he was like, my son goes for very pretty girls. So I'm like, okay. So not only do you not care for her because of her profession, but you also don't care for her looks. Which I don't think that she's necessarily just. I don't think that she's an unattractive person. Her hair does throw me off. The whole Harley Quinn look or whatever that's supposed to be. That does kind of throw me off some, but I feel like it fits her. Like that's her personality and her thing. But, yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like I think her showing up with that half and half shirt too didn't help the case either. Because I was
Yeah.
like, that's
I,
giving you more Cruella the bill for real, for
yes,
real. Yeah.
exactly. It was very Cruella Deville. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, and then like you said, the question she asked, she could have asked Dawson because it just seemed like she just was in there like interviewing him almost, and I'm like, really, you want him to kind of get to know you, and yeah, you want to get to know him too, but it's just the way she was doing it. I ain't really care for it either. And then the cleaning the house is almost like she obligated herself. She's like, I can clean your room, and he was like, oh, that would be amazing. So now you just obligated, and you don't even know what that room looked like. And then too, that's not something you should be doing because I feel like I would feel weird if I didn't know you did that, and then you are talking about I'm gonna be cleaning his room. When he finds that out, I'm like, that's gonna be weird. So, and that probably would make him feel uncomfortable because he probably knows how judgy they are, and he's like, probably don't want them looking at her
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then it's not you're cleaning his house; you're cleaning his room. Like
Yeah,
what? Like that's just inappropriate.
yeah. And then I think, like you said, she's doing a good thing for her son. I hope Dodson appreciates it because I mean, it didn't look like a bad trailer, and it was like a double wide at least too. So it's not a tiny little, the old school, super old school. Like it looked like it was decent. Um, she probably don't owe a whole lot on it because if she put 30,000 down, then she probably only owe maybe another 20, 30,000. So that's not bad either. She can have that house paid off pretty quick, or she's gonna have a extremely low mortgage, which would be good. Um, I don't know. I mean, I just really feel like the dad was, like y'all said, he was a jerk. I didn't care for how he acted, and um, yeah, it was just too much. And then with the mom, I don't feel like she was really listening to what the mom was trying to tell her, and she was giving her good advice. So hopefully, like y'all said, she sits down and just chill out. Um, what else? I know, like when the dad was talking about her look, like saying he likes really pretty. She like that Dalton actually likes pretty girls. I was like, dang. So I almost feel like is he gonna come out and be like, yeah, actually no, you know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I would just be skeptical of him after that conversation because it just I don't know. That would have made me uncomfortable. What happened with the dad? And then he was like, yeah, he's coming here with us, and we're gonna wrap our arms around him and and she was like, well, I hope he includes me. I think she needs to have another talk with Dalton and see why do the parents think that he's coming back if they haven't even talked to him. So something has happened that obviously somebody ain't saying for them to believe that, and then for her to believe what she's saying. I don't know. It's almost confusing too, like the other couple. Like it seemed like stuff is being left out on this one. So yeah, that's all I got. I ain't have anything really extra outside of that. So
Okay.
Yeah. That could be the reason why Dalton didn't want her to go talk to the dad because he already made arrangements to go spend, you know, live with the father and the mother, well, with the parents. Uh, but I was thinking, uh, when I first saw the guy, he came out and he shook her hand. He gave me some creepy vibes because the way he closed the
Mm.
door, it didn't let her come inside the house.
You know
Uh,
what? That was something else. Yeah, I was like, why are they
yeah,
outside?
right. So, and then when he started acting the way he was acting, I was like, oh, okay, he just a bag of vinegar and water. Uh, so yeah, so I was like, dude, crazy. And the room when you say you can clean my room, that also gave me some creepy vibes too, because I was like, why would you offer the girl to come clean your room? You're trying to lure her in there, and you're going to do some things to this girl, and hope that the camera people don't follow. So I was like, that just didn't sit well with me. And two, on her end, I didn't like the comments she made because when he had told her about um, that Dalton's not uh, ready for to be what was the
Prefabricated family.
yes, and then her response was that how you know because you wasn't there in his life. If you was more involved in his life, things probably been different or whatever she said. It was to me it insulted the father because I was like, you don't know the what all took place and why Dalton became the way he became. Like you had said earlier, you really can't blame the father, really can't blame the mother. You can't put all the blame on them. Now, of course, your environment has something to do with the way you turn out. But other than that, oh yeah, too. And then the way her mom was looking out for her and trying to get her to not put the boy's name on the lease because yeah, once his name on that lease and like the mom was trying to say, if something happens, he can take the property and you out in the coat, and seeing how if it's Texas, how they feel about women down there. So I'm pretty sure they'll take his side over hers. So um, hopefully she wise up and don't add his name to the lease. And then, like Reese was saying, sit down and talk to him again. She's gonna have to suck it up and say, "Well, I want to talk to your dad," and then she's just gonna have to listen to him um, complain and tell her why she shouldn't have. But at least she can get some things cleared up because she needs to get some answers before she
Yes,
could
it is.
go forward with him. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Alrighty. So that was this week's episode of Love During Lockup. Anybody else have any other points or anything else that they want to bring up or mention that we may have glossed over?
No.
Mhm. All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. So, again, thank you for watching and coming by. Check us out again next Saturday for the next episode of Love During Lockup. And as always, thank you for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, you are a MVP. So go ahead and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode from us. And until next time, bye, friends.
Bye.